God, that mic is just... What do they make it with, like, toenails?
It's made in China.
It literally it sounds like they made it completely out of fucking Asian children's toenails, is what that mic sounds like. Jesus.
You love Asian children's toenails.
Me and Jesse used to talk about buying Asian children.
Alright. Carl?
Yes.
Just hold it at normal level and start talking, and then I'm going to mess with this, and you guys tell me what's Gucci.
So, like, right here, will that work? Is that...
No, you're going to have to talk into that mic.
How about this?
Yeah, you
like,
gotta-
just get some emphasis in it.
Okay, so higher or lower?
A little higher.
A little bit higher. Higher, lower, higher, lower. Higher, lower, higher, lower. Lower, higher.
That's good right there.
Right there, right there, right there, right there.
Yeah, sure. That'll work. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. You just got to be all... Yeah, you just be a bit...
Stands work over there, Paul?
Hmm?
Do one of those stands work over there?
Yeah, where are you going to put it, baby?
Right there.
You can try it out, yeah.
Johnny, you want to give me a stand?
That it's got to be...
It's that one, yeah.
Yeah, you can't...
That one's fine. No, you're right. You're going to have to do it right there. It's fine. That'll work.
I don't know how that worked.
Yeah, that's a Rubik's Cube of mic stands.
Oh, yeah, maybe not.
Maybe, maybe not. Maybe fuck yourself.
Oh, we hold that part. I want to choose what that thing's called.
You know that affects no sound quality. It's literally just to keep spit from ruining the mic. Because you don't want the Asian toenails that is producing the sound quality coming out of that mic to get any kind of moisture on those toenails.
Asian toenails can't function with moisture.
No, they can't.
If anybody needs help with flooring, I did a bunch of it today, so pretty awesome at it right now.
Oh, you can just...
Oh, God, what was that?
That's what his... Oh, no, you're right. You're right.
It's like,
Yeah, that's his mic, bro. That's...
Yeah.
Poopy?
Tad bit.
Ooh, we getting the screechies. You might have to move it around.
No, it's just... That's,
No, because it wasn't... No, because it wasn't making that earlier. There's a certain... I feel like I'm watching a horribly produced ASMR video.
What the fuck is that?
It's those, like... I know you've heard of them before. It's the ones where the people, like, whisper in the mic and, like, crinkle shit. And, you know what I'm talking about.
What?
It's a thing, man.
No.
It's a thing.
What's the acronym?
ASMR.
I've seen that.
What's it stand for?
I've never...
I actually know this. Autosensory meridian response?
Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
All
what
right, how's
means.
that?
That's good.
Do I get there?
Yeah.
If I just keep it right there and keep my face very still?
Play with the, real quick, play with the connection. It wasn't making this sound earlier.
Are you there? Gianni, can you still hear it? Let's just do this.
Oh, it is what it is. You're not going to hear the playback like that whenever we upload.
We'll just do noise removal.
Yeah. Oh, it's like you're in an airplane whenever you...
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
How's that? Still there?
Yeah, it's there for sure.
Okay. Well, sorry, guys.
We'll get rid of it. It'll be fine.
Yeah, don't you worry, man.
Sorry I'm ruining your all's night.
It'll be peachy
You're
keen.
not. Be peachy keen.
You're peachy keen. Is it keen or king?
Keen.
Keen?
K-E-E-N?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Nada.
Life.
You got the Benadryl, man?
Yeah.
That children's Benny.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Welcome, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Talk Junkies. It's June 23rd or 24th, I believe. One of those 2 days is what it is today.
Man, June went by quick.
It's whatever day we want it to be here at Talk Junkies.
You're right about that.
It's
man.
literally whatever day.
You're right about that. But we're here, man. We're in my house in my basement doing a podcast. We got motherfucking Carl in the house.
What's
Carl
up?
Adams, man. Electrician, union electrician. I don't know if I can say that or not.
Any relation to the presidents?
Not that I have found yet.
Okay.
Yet.
Working on it.
But you've
hoping so.
looked.
I did. I haven't done any Ancestry.com or anything, but there's hope out there, I think.
Is that the one where you like jizz in a cup and then they tell you, hey, you're related
I
to
think
some
that's
people?
23andMe because it's like 23 people.
Oh, the
just-
23.
No, I've got the Ancestry kit, and it says to spit, but I want to make sure.
Right. Spit's only so far. Jizz, that's 100%.
Yeah,
You know?
there's
That's
no
like
question
that's like
in
a
that.
million different, like 2 million different DNA tests right there.
You think if I were to do that in the fucking tube and then send it in, like,
Would they know the difference? Would
I'm
they
sure
care?
they would know the difference. But like
this spit is
you
thick.
think I could find out my ancestry?
we don't know where you came from, but definitely the guy that you just got done blowing, we definitely know where he came from. Like, given the directions we sent you and how you misconstrued it,
This
the guy that you just got done
Cottonmouth.
blowing, we definitely know that his grandmother was related
I
to
thought that's
Susan
how
B.
it works. You
Anthony.
blow someone and then spit it in there. You're good to go. Now you can figure out.
Well, one of you can tomorrow when you wake up call one of those corporations or whoever does that shit and ask them that question.
Dude, I've actually got it. I'm just gonna do it. Fuck it.
All right, do it, man. Spend that $90 in sperm and do a cup.
You really have it, like, what, the Ancestry.com one?
Yeah, no, I do. I got it for Christmas because I've always been. My whole family doesn't know like
Your
I have,
lineage?
yeah, like I have no fucking clue. So I just like to know. I've had it since Christmas though, and still haven't.
You don't feel weird about
Jizzed
them
in the
knowing
fucking
your
tube.
DNA?
No, I do. I definitely do. I feel weird the fact that like Google
say
is now
they,
going
is
to
it?
own my DNA rights.
Well, they could have it if they wanted it, whether or not they had
Yeah,
this. or
it's whatever.
But it makes it very easy because they're making money off of it. Because think about how easy it is to create that system.
No, it's crazy if you actually read the fine print on the stuff. Like I haven't seen the one for the Ancestry, but there's an article talking about it where you can read the fine print on like the 23andMe one, and they legitimately like own the rights to that like DNA after you do it. Like if they want to make a clone of you in the fucking future, you can't stop
That
them
doesn't
because they
surprise
own that
me.
DNA. Yeah.
I really like the fucking conspiracy theory that comes along with that. But
Doesn't-
okay,
yeah.
if you think about how complex that is, all they got to do is figure out a couple of motherfuckers, and then once you connect with the one person that they already fucking knew about that they had to figure out for somebody else, once they connect you to them, well then they already had all that information that they just send to you
Yeah.
because everybody's related to everybody else to a whatever 16th cousins or whatever. Like all you got to do is
I
fucking
think
get to
it's
that
more.
point.
It's just crazy when you think about it. That it's which obviously this is getting super conspiracy theory with it, but it's not so much. If they wanted the DNA to make a clone, anyways, I mean they could just steal your hair or do whatever. The fact is, it's that they're not stealing it. It's that you're literally giving it to them. You're paying for it and then giving them this and signing a thing that says, "Hey, you now own the rights."
You own, yeah.
Well, and how accurate really can it be? I mean, within a database that they have, they can find, similarities into why.
And I've never
You
looked
know?
into because, like I said, I got it for Christmas. I didn't buy it
Yeah.
myself. If I had bought it myself, I would. Well, first off, I probably would
Probably
never buy it
would've bought
myself. Yeah,
Yeah.
But it was something I talked about for a long time. Not that specifically, but I've always asked my parents and stuff like, "Yo, where the fuck do we come from?" And they're like, "I don't know, Missouri." And I was like, "I don't."
I'm curious, like,
I meant a little farther back.
I'm curious with the science behind it. I'm sure they put it into some microscopic thing to where they look at it and they find similarities
They
within
can,
your DNA.
like I
and
said, I
shit,
don't know
but-
for Ancestry, but I know for the 23andMe one, I've seen some results on it before, and it's pretty cool. Like they show you like percentages
percentage?
and stuff from.
No, what they're using is documentation
Yeah,
that they found.
yeah.
Like physical documentation of people being born to other people, and then they have spent time like connecting major families, and then they just need to do a little bit of DNA research to put you back to just a couple of individuals, and then from-
once you've got those individuals who
Dude,
are already on file,
and then they already have everything else fucking documented.
Yeah.
It's not like they need fucking DNA samples from shit.
I mean, they do just to connect you to the one person they've already got that's already connected.
So
to.
once you connect to one person, all of a sudden the rest of your fucking history just opens
some
up.
6 degrees
Well,
of
Like
Kevin Bacon.
chances
nonsense.
are everybody in this room is related to an individual if you go far enough back. It just
Yes.
depends on. Actually, I guarantee it. It's just how far do you have to go back because we're all of the same skin color.
Well, you can only go.
That's-
You can only go so far back though, as well. You know?
True. You can
Yeah.
only go so far on documentation. I don't know.
But you don't. You only have to go back.
Paul,
fucking,
I didn't pay for it. I'm gonna fucking jizz in this fucking tube and get my DNA or get my
Fuck
fucking
yeah.
see where I come from.
But then you'll have some babies you don't know about, Johnny. Be careful.
All right, maybe I'll just spit in it.
Can I jizz in it?
Yeah, Carl don't care, man. He's good. He wants more babies.
No. No, the 3 is enough.
I feel like it's been being all of a sudden a competition amongst all my closest friends. Like they're just and I'm losing because I like money.
Well,
yeah, you're losing.
No, we like money still too.
Yeah.
It just goes other places now.
Yeah, there you go.
Kids are investments, man. They could pay off in the end if you teach them right.
It's true.
They'll start buying you dinner and then buying you the gifts. You
got to put a lot. You got to put a lot into it, though.
It's a long-term investment, like you guys like.
Is it like
what is it?
And they could become fucking. I don't know. They could be complete fucking jerk offs that never give back to you in any way, shape, or form.
It's true. It's
a spiritual investment.
It's like I'd call it medium risk, maybe a little bit higher risk.
I mean, obviously, you're not just having kids also so that they can give you money down the road.
True.
There's a whole lot there more to
Let's
it.
ask Warren Buffett. How much money does he have invested into kids?
Into
I'm
kids.
just curious.
Does he have zero?
Like factories?
I don't know. I don't know
that's
if Warren
fucked,
Buffett's
John.
married or not.
It's so fucked. Man, I was thinking about last week's podcast, and I know we didn't shed 100% light on that podcast. I think there were some things that we missed, but initially going into that podcast, we didn't want to bore everyone with just specifics when it comes to certain investments or stocks or all that stuff. I mean, that's complex, We would have to go in a very long and deep podcast about that.
Yeah, and if you didn't listen to last week's podcast, we basically touched a little bit on the stock market, but it was mostly overall just general like finance, some key points that Dave Ramsey and some other financial experts make about just how to save money and how you can. It's basically about how you can be a millionaire by the time you're like 50.
And
you do it right, possibly earlier.
Well, not if you're starting at 47.
Well,
Obviously.
obviously.
But here's the deal, and I thought about it, and Jesse made a good point. He's like, hey man, he's like, there was a few days ago at work. He's like, you know what, the bankers, if they ever fail, we bail them out. And I'm like, Jesse, you're right. We'll bail them out. So he's like, why not invest into the bankers, because they're always going to make money? And you're completely right.
Okay, this is.
Go ahead.
As like a disclaimer, really quick, for all people, this is a very much a personal conclusion that I'm coming to right now, and I'm not going to tell you banks will never fucking fail, because just like anything else in this world can fail. Nothing is fucking permanent. Literally nothing is permanent and set in stone.
But what's been
basically
except herpes.
But my just as a disclaimer to say that that I'm not a financial advisor. I do my own personal investments whenever it comes to money, but basically I'm not heavily invested into banks, but it is a portion of my portfolio. I'm not going to name the banks, but I do have shares in banks. Looking back at a big crisis back in 2008, and this is what I'm coming to. Whenever you see the U.S. banks start to fail, banks are pretty much the keystone to our economy and where everything comes from. So if the banks fail, pretty much everything else fails. So what ends up having to happen is people like me and you, which is ridiculous because this was awful. We bailed out the fucking banks and they ended up doing awful shit with the money in the end, which don't get me wrong, I think morally is awful.
But you have to bail them out.
But I'm saying but you have to bail them out because they're the keystone to our economy. So if you're talking about investment purposes and putting money into something, just seeing, because you have a great example of something that happened a little over 10 years ago of a really safe investment is probably putting money into banks. That's all I'm going to say, because banks are very much necessary up until something else, a new institution comes in, which it will just be another bank. But no, I'm not saying that this is a fail safe or a perfect fucking investment, but given what happened in 2008, it's pretty,
I think,
in my opinion, a safe bet is to put money into banks.
I think one thing that we failed to mention last week, and again, like Jesse just said, we're not like advising anyone in any way, shape, or form. I think what it comes down to, and what we really didn't touch on last week, was the fact that the education system has failed us when it comes to learning what financials are. And not only that, but don't be scared to ask for help when it comes to how you spend your money or what you're doing with your money. And I think that I'm 30 years old now, and I'll be honest, like no one's ever taught me what to do with my money except how to spend it, And when I say that, I mean like going out and making purchases, and I've never had guidance when it comes to financials except my mom saying
our
save
education
money.
system is terrible.
So what I think what last week's podcast was about is just saying, hey, just be open to the idea of learning how to invest your money into banks, because they're always going to be there for the most part. If Johnny said herpes, it's a for sure thing. Well, since we've been born and since the early 1900s and maybe even before then, banks have been a sure thing. Yes, we've had a stock market, collapse in the early 1900s, and we've had 2008 and all this shit, but it's always going to be there. So in my opinion,
Always bounces back.
yeah, in my opinion, it's a sure thing. So don't be afraid to learn different ways on how to spend your money or save it or invest it. Because honestly, before Jesse and Johnny started talking about stocks and shit, I had no idea besides what Bitcoin was. I didn't know anything what you guys were talking about last week, but now you shed light on it.
And it's 2019. It's so easy to do.
But and then you have your friends who are become financial advisors. Like we had two of our friends, both named Zach, which plays into that one podcast with names and shit. But anyways, both of them were interested in financial advising, and they're trying to talk to you, and you're like, you feel weird, you feel uncomfortable, and it's like you shouldn't feel that way.
That's my biggest thing is you should not in any way, shape, or and maybe this falls back on the education thing. People don't talk about money enough. Money is like frowned upon when you it's not polite to ask someone how much they make. Like that has become a social norm is that it is taboo or impolite to ask someone how much they make. And they talk about it in the workplace. Management will always feed it down the fucking hose that you should not talk about how much you make compared to your coworkers. You absolutely should. You should talk about how much you make and compare and everything. And it's not about like, oh, this person makes more than me, what the fuck, so on and so forth. That helps everybody out by you can, try to get a raise type of thing or whatever. They're not going to cut that other person's wages down. I don't know. People don't. We literally, something we deal with every single day is money and finances. Every single person, if you're over hopefully if you're over the age of fucking 16, you've at least started some kind of thing. Or even 12 and you're mowing lawns or whatever. But if you're over 18, you are for sure dealing with money in some way, shape, or form every single day of your life. Why don't we talk about it? Why is it so frowned upon?
Yeah, it's frustrating.
I don't know about the whole you should be able to or everybody should openly discuss what they make. I don't
want to go down that hole, but I think that we should be more friendly about conversations about money and stuff like that. I think that that's definitely an issue.
Okay, ignore the part then about talking about what you make and stuff, but at the end of the day, that's still, people, I don't know. It's it's even frowned upon in households. Nobody likes talking about fucking finances and money and shit, but honestly, like I said, we deal with it every day. Every single person in this room and who's probably listening to this right now deals with either making money or spending money every single day of their lives, and yet nobody talks about it. People are afraid to ask. They're like, man, what should I do with this money? What's the safest route to do this? What's the most aggressive?
And how many people really even think that? And I'm just going based off me, and I know I'm one person out of 7 billion on this earth, allegedly. I'm just going off of how I feel and what I think, and a lot of those times I don't have that reaction.
I love how you threw in the little dig against census takers. I know. Real quick, you were just 7 billion people on this earth, allegedly census takers.
Well, there's no way to really know. But
my bad. It was
But anyways, I'm just going.
The most random fucking shade was just thrown.
I'm just going off of what I see on some when I make purchases, especially big purchases that are going to affect me for a long period of time. Honestly, I don't put much thought into it because I was never taught to. Whenever I went and got my truck and I spent $30,000 on it, I went without telling my wife. I went and I looked at the truck.
You didn't.
It was the only truck that I looked at, and I test drove it, and I was like, I fucking love this truck, and I made it happen that same day. I didn't financially think about it in the long term.
Did you break out
the emotional?
Did you break out a calculator and do the math on how much?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Oh,
not
you
at all.
should.
Yeah.
This is to everyone out there real quick because this is so important. If you're going to make a big purchase, and by a big purchase I mean something you're about to buy on other people's money, which will cost you more money in the end.
We went into that last week, so I don't want to go too much into it.
But I'm going to just real quick, if you're going to purchase something off borrowed money, just sit down, break out the calculator, take 2 minutes to fucking see what it's actually going to end up costing you. I bet you won't fucking buy that shit. I bet you won't fucking buy that shit.
And they'll try to get you certain. Okay, so when I bought, this is ironic because we just talked about last week about not making payments and everything. We all know that I recently purchased a new vehicle, not new, super used actually, 100,000 miles on it, 2011. I bought that, and I am technically making payments. I'm not going to make payments. I'm going to make one big payment. I have a loan out for it for $1,000, which I'm just going to pay off next month. As soon as I'm waiting for all the paperwork to go through at the dealership and all that. Anyways, but I did the math on the payments they wanted me to do for 36 months at $40 a month or whatever it is. Doesn't matter. But the payments were higher originally, And I looked at it, and I actually did the math on my calculator in front of the finance guy, and he had a fucking warranty thrown in there. Without telling me or anything, he had a fucking warranty thrown in there to fucking jack up the amount of money that I would have to borrow. And I'm
There's
like...
nothing wrong with the warranty, though.
I don't...
But
Okay,
it's not
that's
the
fine.
factory
It's
warranty.
not
He's
the
asking
fact that
for.
there's... Yeah, I didn't fucking ask you to
For
put...
sure.
And like,
But would
he
you-
acted so confused too when I was like, hey, this doesn't add up. And he's like, what do you mean? And I was like, I'm a human being with a calculator in my pocket, and I know basic math. This plus this plus this does not add up to the amount that I'm borrowing from you. You guys are way off. And you said that like, this is my interest rate. Well, yeah, I'm adding this up. The interest rate is like 3 times the amount you quoted me, if this is all right. And he's like, let me look at it. Just pretending basically. And he's like, yeah, we've got you in there for this warranty, blah, blah. And I was like, no.
Yeah, you're right.
Which, if you want to get a warranty, go for it. I'm not dogging
Yeah,
on that.
for
I'm just
sure.
saying, like, man, people don't fucking pay attention.
They don't.
When they're purchasing things.
Yeah.
Especially a big man. If you're going to spend more than $5,000 on anything, I'm not even going to give a number. 5,000 is a bad number. If you're going to make anything that you deem to be a big purchase, like, fucking take your time with it. Do the fucking. It takes fucking 20 seconds to sign this piece of paper that could ruin the next 6 years of your life. Like, just take some time. Slow down. Do the math. Don't get emotionally involved in it.
It's very true. I mean, when you think about it, a lot of people don't. They'll just sign the document with it. I mean, and that's what I did. But granted, I went through my bank. When I went to the dealership, and he was like, "Yeah, man, like I can get you a good interest rate." And I'm like, "No, man, I'm going to go through my bank." And he's like, he was very adamant that I go through him. And I was like, "No, like I'm going to go through my bank. I trust my bank. I've been with them for years. They're going to give me the money. It's all good in the hood, man." So you're right, man.
And never fear that they'll, man. This goes for cars, homes, everything. Like, I promise you, if you're putting down some kind of down payment or even a like a refundable deposit to say, hey, hold on to this for a week so I can look some stuff over, do that. Don't buy it the day of. Fucking go in there, do all your legwork, so on and so forth, and then like be like, here's a deposit, completely refundable, so I can change my mind in the future if I want to. But here's this, so you guys can hold it, and then go out and talk to people and do your fucking research and everything. Do the math, add it all up, make sure that everything's fucking golden and it's exactly what you want. Don't let them sweet talk you into doing it the day of, like you're gonna miss out.
Can I talk about? You brought up financial advisors. I just want to bring this up real quick to people. If you are just saving even 15% of your yearly income, which is weekly or whenever you get your check, which you're putting 15% of that basically into savings, you do not need a financial advisor to tell you where to put your money. You can do very simple research. I've had conversations with friends about this that hire financial advisors that have a small income. Now, if you have $1 million, somebody hands you $1 million, you need to invest it, go ahead and pay somebody to put that money. But if it's your money and it's that small of an amount, which 15% of whatever, like let's say the average income.
If you make $40,000 a year, 15% is $6,000 at the end of the year. It's
you're
$500
already
a month.
buying into ETFs and in which I know, like you didn't want me to get into like heavy shit that needs to be explained, but there's a lot of shit that you put into the stock market that the price is already adjusted to pay for people's salaries to make decisions on where that money goes. So it's almost like you're doubling down or paying double. Not necessarily double, but you're paying more than what you need to be paying for somebody to make really basic decisions for you. You do not need that. You can be financially wise with how the things work as far as stock markets go, and especially ETFs.
I think what it comes down to, I'm sorry to interrupt, but if we're going to introduce something where we're not saying you need a financial advisor, I think it has to be baby steps at that point. Like you said, download Robinhood, right? That's a good start.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to promote Robinhood because there's
and you said that
they have downsides too.
Do something like make it, simplify it. You know what I'm saying? Like simplify it. If someone's going to invest 15% of what they make yearly, don't go on a spiel about how like you're talking foreign to them, like it's the Chinese language. Make it very basic and easy.
Okay.
Is what I
as basic as easy as I could get. If you have debt, you don't invest money. You don't get to invest money until you're out of debt. So you get out of debt first. Once you're out of debt, then you can start investing money. Because debt, you have to look at debt as a negative investment. That's all it is. Because investments is money money you have to be able to put in to make you money. Debts are typically, for a lot of people, money that you owe that's increasing in value for another individual, where they're making money off you owing them money, basically. That's a negative. Look at it as a negative investment. You want to get out of those because that's taking money away from you. Once you're out of debt and you have money to put away, all you have to do is look into really safe investments. Unless you want to get deeper into it. If you just want to play it completely safe, you're super conservative, you just want 8% return, 8% return on your money, you can put your money into things that's going to give you 8% on your money back. Which...
And if, like Paul was saying, with super simple, he said make it super simple as possible. First step after you're out of debt, find a brokerage, whether that's Robinhood or E-Trade or fucking a brick and mortar fucking place that does it, whatever it is. Find the brokerage that works for you. And if you want to keep it super simple, don't look at even individual companies. You can do that down the road. The simplest way, though, is to go with a gigantic, safe mutual fund or ETF, which is going to be like...
Just tracks the market.
Like the S&P 500. Even if you know nothing about stocks, I guarantee you have
don't
heard...
Need to know. You don't need to know anything.
People have heard about the S&P 500, or they have heard about the Dow Jones, the Dow Jones Industrial Average. People talk about, oh man, the Dow went down 6 points, or the Dow went... You've heard that before in fucking financial talk. Look into the fucking Dow Jones Industrial Average or the S&P 500, safe bets, put money in there. It's went up consistently 8% over the last fucking 50 years.
You weren't promoting Robinhood, I will say. Johnny, especially you.
I didn't want to bring up Robinhood.
Think or Swim, you heard of that one?
No.
It's an app. I was telling Jesse and Paul about it at work. Because I've been talking, after I heard you guys' podcast, it really got me going. I've been talking to a guy at work about trading and stuff. And he uses Think or Swim, and he showed it to me. It's really good. Again, like you guys said, we're not promoting anything. But it's really good. You have live trading and paper trading on it.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Which paper trading is just test trading.
Exactly.
It's not with real money.
Beginners, so, like the guy at work's telling me, I'm brand new to this. I'm starting to learn it just like you guys have and, make money off of it. It's a good way to make money trading stocks. But on the paper trading, it's really nice. You can spend a year doing paper trades until you get comfortable trading. It's very nice. It flows, like I was telling Jesse and Paul, this app, it flows with the real market. So you make a paper trade, and then it'll actually track with the real market.
Yeah, basically.
So it's fake. It's fake money, but it's the real market.
There's free websites that do that online, too.
Right.
There's a whole bunch of those out there that do. Just look up paper trading if you want to test the waters without any real money.
Exactly, and it's a very good tool. It's a very good tool.
That's cool as fuck.
I have an app called Best Brokers that does the same thing, that you can just put in whatever amount of money, and you can track the market in real time.
Exactly.
Yeah. Find
something like that. That to me, that right there, paper trading, that's a good way to get started, in my opinion, because you're learning how to trade the real market, but with not your own money.
Also, realistically, if you're wanting to save and invest, there is no part of you that should ever consider day trading and options trading and all this different stuff. I don't want to get too technical here, but if you're really just going for pure investment, save money, put money away, put 15% of your income away a year, don't look into day trading and any of that stuff. Do long-term, safe investments.
You'll lose money.
That's it. I can't do this anymore. I cannot.
It's too much. It's too much.
Yeah, I cannot talk about.
Let's move on. We talked about finance last time.
An hour and a half of the last two podcasts we fucking dedicated to financials, man. And people don't come to Talk Junkies for financials.
That's true. That's true.
You're right.
It's important, but you're fucking.
It is very important.
It is.
Let's go back to jizzing in fucking cups. God damn.
Fuck yeah, man. Yeah.
I do it every Saturday.
Hey, so you know what? Something that frustrates me, and are we socialist or are we fucking capitalist?
That's a good question, man.
Personally or as a country?
No, like as a country, where are we?
I mean, I'd say it's kind of a mix, and I don't know enough about politics to give you an accurate answer here.
But the way that everything's taxed, you almost have to question it at some point, right? How socialist have we become?
But it's also very capitalist. I mean, look at these giant corporations and companies and everything. I mean, it's probably a mix.
Hold on. So let's just go through the questions real fast. So income, what do they tax you at?
What are we at right now?
It all depends on your tax bracket.
Yeah, it depends on your bracket.
It's like 30%. 30%
over
of
27,000, I think.
It's 30% of what.
Oh wait, no, it's got to be more than that. That's got to be the other tier, which is probably like
35,000 or 40,
or like 40 or more.
30% of what we make. So middle class. Sorry, middle class is
it's 30%.
30%. right? So 30% of what you make, and yes, you do get a little back on income tax, however you do your taxes, but I think it boils down to 30%.
It's 30%.
And then what's your city tax? Any purchases you make, what is that?
Are you talking about like sales tax?
9%,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Right now it's 10% where we're
10
at.
point, like 10.4%.
10 point. It's not. I think it's like 10.1 or 10.2.
Last I looked, it was like 10.4.
Oh, it did go up
yeah.
recently. It
Yeah.
went up recently.
Yeah.
There you go. It's
So that puts us at
But for
what
easy
now?
math, we'll just say 10%.
So what does that put us at now?
40%.
Well, 30% on income and 10% on purchases.
But
so.
anything you purchase in city, which you purchase everything in the city you live in,
Okay.
that's
So
technically
you're looking at like
40%.
40%.
That doesn't include personal property tax.
Yeah, no. Personal property tax is a joke in and of itself. We've
Yes.
covered this.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
You're looking at almost 45% tax.
Yeah, you're looking at like 50%. Half of everything you make goes to the government.
That is fucking socialism. We are socialist. We refuse to believe it. We think we are this capitalist fucking nation. Yes, we are free. We can do whatever we want. We can go out and make however much money we want. I'm complaining. I need
They're
to do
still gonna
something
take
about
some.
it. Yeah, we're socialists, 100% through and through, man.
I mean, not 100%. There's definitely
100%.
no. There's
Oh, I'm
definitely
sorry.
a ton.
50%.
Yeah,
my
there
bad.
you go.
50%. My bad.
There's still a lot of capitalism going on in the United States of America. A
Not
ton
when it
of
comes to the middle class, man. When they're taking half of what you make, there's
That's
no
still-
way, dude. There's no way that's fucking capitalist in any way, shape, or form.
It'd be different if they were taking the amount of money that they were taking away, and you just saw a really great society where healthcare was readily available
100%.
for cheap, and then you had great schools, just absolute. I mean, the best of the best. You would think with the number one country as far as income goes out of the whole globe, like you would think we could do.
Does
a little bit
anybody-
better with
this-
that amount of
Is there not an oil tax too?
This may make me sound real dumb. I don't care. I just gotta ask, what exactly does like? So I pay into Medicare or Medicaid, whatever it's called. Like that's on my fucking. They take that out of every paycheck. It's on my taxes.
Same with Social Security, I think.
So
too.
yeah, Social Security, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my thing though: is how you be getting some of this fucking Medicaid? How get me the welfare Medicare?
Yes.
How do I get this? Because when I have a problem, I don't like to spend a lot of money on health stuff, so I end up going to some fucking family clinic or whatever and just dropping like $90
Right,
or whatever.
And how long you've been working since you were 16?
Yeah,
And
15.
so you've been paying into that for 13 years now, right?
Yep.
You ain't getting no help.
Well, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Social Security and Medicare, Medicaid, it's Medicaid, isn't it? Does it come
Yeah,
out
I
of
don't know
your
which
check?
one it is.
I think it's Medicaid. That's for when you hit.
That's when you hit a certain
65.
age. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know. That's why I'm
65,
asking. I don't know how the
then-
Medicaid
so it's
works.
Like, it's like you're paying for the next person, like somebody younger than you. So when you retire, I'm younger than you guys. So when you guys retire, I'll still be paying into it. So I'm paying for you guys to go.
Yeah, no, that makes
I'm paying
sense. Yeah.
for you guys to receive it. You
But
know
they've
what I'm
also
saying?
they keep moving the
Now,
first
when the
off, Social
government-
Security keeps going down. Like the amount people are getting from Social Security is going down.
Yeah, because the government's borrowing from it.
And then also, the year that you can claim it is going up.
Going
Like
further,
it
yep.
recently moved within the last 4 years. They moved it from fucking 65 to 67 or 72 or some
Okay.
shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wrong. Now that I think about it, and you guys brought that up. We are taxed at 30%, but I would say half of that is going for when you do retire. So I'm cool with that. Sorry.
Except it won't be there by the time we retire.
And that's what they said in the 60s and 70s.
True.
you know
That's
what I'm
what they
saying?
always say that.
But,
So
but looking at it in that aspect, that does make sense. That's cool. I appreciate that. And I would say that the reason that you were asking, like, you can go. They base it off your 10 most productive years is how much you get on your Social Security check when you retire. So your 10 most successful years, they average that out, however much that is, and that's what you get monthly for the rest of the time until you
Really?
die. Yeah.
I should for 10 years get some really just ballin' ass fucking job, hate my
Yeah.
life, but make all that money.
Correct.
So that, or I could just save my money now, so I don't even have to worry about Social Security.
That's just
And
what
I'm
I heard. That's
lit.
just what I heard. I need to look it up, but I've heard that from multiple people.
Flush
so-
with cash.
Yeah. And the Medicaid I heard is bullshit. I heard it really sucks whenever you
Like
do
shitty
retire.
insurance as
Yeah.
well. Oh yeah, no, it's dirt. It's dirt cheap shit.
But I mean, it's something. But
Right, better than nothing.
I just didn't know. I didn't know that much about it, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's why
And
I was
I'm
asking.
not certain. I think I'm pretty sure that's how it works. At a certain age, you can draw those two. I just know that because of my job. I know when I retire, I'll get 5 paychecks when I retire for doing nothing. And 2 of them are Medicaid and Social Security.
Nice. Well, I know last week I talked about Belton, man, and this is how far deep they're trying to get into your pockets, man. Everyone's trying to get their hands in everyone's pockets. It frustrates me.
Wasn't it Belton that proposed a sales tax on anything bought online as well?
It could be, but so we get a letter in the mail, and they're sitting there saying, if you're trying to rent your house out, which is really weird because I maybe thought about getting a different house and renting this house out.
They heard.
So yeah, well, that's what
They
Karen
watched the podcast.
Yeah, that's what my wife thought. But I told her, I was like, I guarantee you, everyone in Belton who's a homeowner got this letter in the mail. And come to find out, Jordan got one too. So yes, everyone's getting this letter. They're saying that you are required by the city, if you are ever going to rent just one house out or multiple houses, to get a business license.
What?
Yes, a yearly business.
So you're going to pay?
Yes.
You should
to
have.
rent your
You
own
should have
house
an
out.
LLC anyway, though.
No,
I
Jesse,
mean, to cover your own ass.
Yeah, no, that's strictly
what you
to
get
where
in-
they can sue the company and not you.
No, it's
You,
if
you
I-
should have that safety net in there.
no,
anyway.
People
So
need
if
to
they,
quit.
like,
people
break their leg or something?
people need to quit digging their fucking hands into other people's pockets, man. If I want to rent this house out, and this is the only house I'm going to rent out for the rest of my life, I don't need to go get an LLC for renting this house out for the rest of my life, Jesse. That makes absolutely
No,
no
I mean, you
sense.
should
Yeah,
for your own protection.
for your own protection,
The
you
business
should-
license that you're talking
you
about, like
should-
the Belton business license, fuck all that.
Right.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Fuck all that. The LLC is to protect you so that you don't get fucking sued, because all it takes is one jackass to fucking sue you, and there's a lot of jackasses out there. There's a lot of shitty people.
You use that as a safety net to
You
where
get
they can't
sued, and
get
now
to
they're
you
taking
directly.
fucking food out of your kids' pockets.
They can
true.
bankrupt the company. They
True.
can't
Yeah.
bankrupt you.
That's true. You're
You
right.
could go bankrupt, and that would ruin you. But
You're right.
they do. You got an LLC. You're all good. You're covered.
Yeah, you're right about that. Okay, see, I get so frustrated in the moment.
But the
and I-
business class, the business fucking license,
Yeah,
How,
bullshit.
how much is it?
It's I don't know, but Belton's just—they're literally trying to get whatever money they can out of everyone.
Well, you
they're
gotta renew it
literally
every year,
fucking
too.
yeah,
You know, I think it's a yearly thing.
yeah,
You got to do it at work,
yeah.
right? You got to renew all your licenses and
Yes.
stuff like that.
Yeah, dude, they want as much money as they can, and this city is not growing. I'm fucking tired of people trying to take my money, man. It's just to the point where it's frustrating. So
Yeah,
frustrating.
no, I get that.
Where have we gone wrong, dude? And I know we've talked about this. We've strayed away as the collective being that we once used to be, and we're not there anymore. And somewhere along the line, beer me too, man. We have to come back and realize that we are the majority, man. We're the majority. We rule, dude. And Jesse said last week the 1% is winning, and that may be true. But
They
how long
are.
how long is that going to last, man?
Middle class is dwindling away, though.
If everyone fucking shares this video and fucking sends it to everyone, and everyone starts investing at an 8% rate, in 60 years from now, we will gain a little bit of ground. A little bit of ground.
A tiny bit of ground.
A tiny bit.
Smallest amount.
Who even cares, man? You know what? We could sit here and talk about the tiniest bit of ground, but all it takes is everyone to get off their fucking phones and their laptops and wake up tomorrow, and everyone just stop paying into personal property tax, and everyone stop paying their bills, but not all their bills. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, don't stop paying your bills.
Right.
Like,
But
Electricity goes out.
Okay, can we all just really let's get to brass tacks here. Find the most bullshit thing you can think of. Why the
Personal
fuck
personal property
on your
tax.
car? On the car that you own.
or house.
Or house, yeah.
Why the fuck does the government need money from me?
The
every
house
year?
one makes the smallest amount of sense due to
Okay.
land, due to property,
Okay,
because
land,
property's
land
not
and maintenance. Land and
going
maintenance.
any. Like,
So you can't own land?
no, you can. I'm just saying.
I think you should be
No,
able to, but
no,
I'm
I
talking
said
about the
no
most
owning
bullshit
land.
one.
They'll come to
the most
they'll-
bullshit
they'll-
one is your car.
The most
Paying
bullshit
personal
one is the
property
fucking
tax on your
fact that you have to
fucking
give
car.
the government money every year because you own a car.
Or house, dude. This is the same thing.
But I mean, the most bullshit one is the
Jesse,
car thing.
you spend 30 years paying your house off. 30 if you do a 30-year note and you spend 30 years, but yet after you own the house, you're still paying taxes on it.
You can buy a $1,500 fucking TV, right? And then you don't pay personal property tax on that every year,
You buy a $1,000 car.
and you have to fucking pay the government a year
makes
because
no fucking
you want to know why?
sense.
You want to know why? Because the government knows that the car is essential for you to fucking use, to get to fucking work,
Yeah.
to go and buy fucking food.
So
the
what I'm
government knows that,
we all
so
know-
they fucking
We all know this.
rape you for fucking
Okay,
money on.
so
it.
here's the thing: we could all say,
Even though that's a very small amount, but
We-
that doesn't matter.
I've been friends with you, Jesse, and Carl for a long time. Johnny for a few years. We've all had this conversation on many occasions at different people's houses, and it's the same conversation. And it's literally what you just said. I've heard you say that 10 different times within the past 12 years. What are we doing to change that, man? What are we doing to change that?
No, I mean,
how do we do we go to house and do we knock on people's doors, or do we get everyone to share Talk Junkies video and say, hey, quit fucking paying personal property tax? This is fucking bullshit, man.
the thing is though, if I don't pay personal property tax on my car,
They'll take it.
I can't. No, they won't take it, but I can't get it registered.
I understand
which means
that.
I can no longer drive it.
But what happens if everyone in Missouri didn't pay personal property
yeah,
tax?
but that's not going to happen.
But what happens if it did?
Then they would hand out tickets left and right for everyone
And if no one paid the tickets, they're going to arrest
Yeah,
everyone.
I mean, going by that, you're right, Paul. You're
that
right.
would, honestly, I know this sounds bad, but that would crash some shit.
No, how crazy is it to think that, the state is going to tax everyone? You know what? Everyone's going to pay it every single year, minus maybe 10 to 15% aren't going to pay it. And we're going to penalize them, and then they can't get their car registered. That's even crazier to think that 85% of people would pay that. They're getting raped. It's to me, it's more sane to think that no one would pay it. Who signed up for this? Did you sign up for it?
Yeah, no, it's because it's how we're institutionalized.
Yeah.
We're raised this way.
So
and
why-
I'm going to continue to pay it because I want to continue to drive my goddamn car.
But I'm saying, you know what? We sit here and bitch and complain about it, and we have the past 10 years, but we're not doing anything about it to change it. That's the most frustrating part.
I mean, literally all 4 of us in this room could not pay our personal property tax next year. But you know what would happen? All 4 of us wouldn't be able to drive anymore. You'd
But
get
if we
pulled
got-
over when you don't have registration.
we-
I wouldn't see you next
Yes,
Sunday.
but you're right, Paul. But we're not going to get everybody
Let's
to
do it, man, is what I'm
no,
saying.
go ahead. Get right on
Let's
that.
do it.
Get right on it.
Well, let me propose this. What about only paying it on new cars? Because you don't own that new car. Your new car you just bought, Johnny. You don't own it yet. It's not yours.
Yeah, I mean, I'll own
So
it real soon.
What you pay for it, the personal property tax.
You already pay sales tax on it, though. Fuck
Yeah.
that.
You do.
They don't,
I don't know.
The state doesn't deserve any money, man. They don't
No,
deserve any
no.
fucking money for any purchases you make, dude. Just because Belton exists and it's a city because I buy
I mean,
a new
they
car,
need money for the taxes aren't inherently
10% sales tax in Belton.
Taxes are very
There
much
you go.
necessary.
Yeah.
Let's all here agree that taxes are very much necessary.
I agree with that, but
They're
not
a
personal property
necessary
tax.
evil.
But if you literally have taxed the middle class at every avenue possible, think about it. Like, when do you ever do something that's an exchange of money where it's not supposed to be taxed? Never, right? So anytime money ever happens, and now they're getting us on shit that money doesn't even get exchanged anymore and you're being taxed. So they're taxing us on all fronts. How the fuck is not more shit done? You literally are taxing us on fucking everything.
Like Johnny said,
How the fuck is not shit getting
If the
done?
city we lived in was perfect, everything was amazing, and we got everything that we needed, then yes, I would completely understand, and I would be on
What's
board
the
with that
percentage?
100%.
What's the percentage? And you might have to look this up to get the actual number. What's the percentage of income tax that's lost every year that just fucking disappears?
No, it's somewhere. It's upwards of 40%. 40% of all of our taxes. I might want to look up the numbers.
Can't be 40%.
Why?
I thought it was smaller than that
Oh,
because
it
that's
might be.
ridiculous.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's got to be. But there is a certain percentage of just income tax that comes out of everybody who pays income tax, which is everybody who works in America. A certain percentage of that shit literally just disappears into fucking thin air, to where literally the government's just like, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. It just
so
man,
just-
numbers are crazy, right?
just as
Like-
just as easily as the government is corruptible or is corrupt is the same way with any city that you live in that's in control of millions and millions of dollars could be easily corruptible. Am I not right on that? Would you agree or disagree?
Say the question again.
I'm saying as corrupt as the government is, with however much money they collect from people with taxes and shit like that, and if you don't pay it, you go to jail. You have cities, like I said, 2 years ago, Belton was making $54 million they were able to spend each every year. They could be just as corruptible people handling that money.
Absolutely.
So it's never going to be a win-win situation. So why do we keep giving our money to these people when shit isn't getting done in the city?
So you're
Things
just
are never
saying
changing. Crime's getting worse. Like, what is all our money going to? That's the most...
You're talking about like a flip the script scenario. You're talking about disestablish, quit funding them. All of a sudden the funding goes away. They quit doing their job because the money's not coming in, and then we have to redo it. And then how can you come up with a better system then?
Exactly. I mean...
So really what you're asking is, how can we come up with a better taxing scenario for individuals?
Yes, something like
we've
that.
actually already talked about an alternative on this podcast as well, which
We
I
have.
believe in.
Yeah, we have. And I think that is completely plausible. Something has to change. Something needs to change. I know there are people out there that don't agree with any tax at all, but I do think, and I agree with both of you, that there's a need for some sort of tax for things to progress, okay? Unless you can come up with a plan, and I know that there's one person in specific that I'm thinking of, and it's High Impact Flicks, Brian, that he doesn't agree with any of this. So maybe I could be wrong. I've invited you on the podcast many times. You said you were going to come on. I emailed you. You haven't came on, dude. If you listen to this, which you probably won't, I'm just saying he's the only person that I can think off the top of my head that would not be down for any taxes. But something needs to change. We can't keep living on this.
But you
living like
have
this
to have
forever.
taxes. You have to have taxes.
Not to 10% sales tax.
Well, like we talked about before the show, before you came down, Paul, Just if you take it from one spot, they're just going to put it somewhere else. You take personal property away, they're just going to tax you on something else.
And that shit's got to stop.
They're gonna get their money.
This is pissing me off. I have tried to look it up in so many different ways, and I shit you not, just the fucking Google algorithms on here will not give me a fucking answer. They keep going to the other side of things. They're like, this is how much the IRS fails to collect.
Oh, I saw that's. I googled it too. I found the
They're
same
like,
issue.
yeah,
just now.
this is how much they fail to collect, and this
Yeah.
is how much people are. It's like bringing up tax evasion stuff and all this. I'm like, no, that's not what I'm asking.
Nope.
I'm asking how much the government fucking loses. But I know what you're talking about, Jesse. I've seen the number before too, and I don't think it's 40% because you're right. That sounds way high. It's actually pretty low. Probably it's probably
under
like
10%. It's under 10%.
But I think I got the 40 because it was like it was a number that had to do with 40, like fucking $40 million or some shit.
there is a
the fact
chunk
that you
of
can
money
just lose even
into
if it was,
thin air.
Even if it was 2% of all the taxes that they
Every
fucking
year.
collect is just
Stupid money.
they cannot account for.
Yeah,
but
no,
guess who has all the numbers of all the money coming in?
yeah. It's a joke.
They have all the numbers
It's
of
a
all the
joke.
money coming in, but yet they've openly admitted a certain percentage of that money literally just disappears into fucking thin air.
Because they
Yeah.
know you're going to pay it next year, and nothing's going to change.
Yeah.
They know.
And then you don't have health insurance when Obama was president, and he would tax you for that, you know? So, I mean, again, they do what they do. We've already went over this in the podcast, and I'm sorry that we're mentioning this again, the fact that there are corporations that pay absolutely no income tax in any way, shape, or form.
which
And
is needed.
What, Amazon? Okay, so what's more needed? The middle class, thriving, or Amazon not paying taxes? I don't think that Amazon not paying taxes is needed, Johnny. I think the middle class could take a break.
Then Amazon.
That is necessary.
No, it's not necessary.
Because
it's
then
not.
Amazon won't be in the U.S. anymore.
No, yes, they will.
It's
No, they'll go
Amazon
somewhere
is a
cheaper.
company, not
don't-
the individuals.
Okay,
the
so
individuals will still pay
So
taxes.
if they go somewhere, then you say, "Hey,
Bezos still pays
hold on,
taxes.
Hold on, no, he doesn't
As an
pay. He
individual.
doesn't pay income tax. They go somewhere to another country. Hey, none of your product. We're not going to allow your service here in the United States anymore.
So
So he's going to leave then
Tariff on
okay.
their-
So why have we not done that then to all these companies that do leave?
because that I don't know. I don't have the question.
There's got to be an answer there. That's
because
someone
it's
way
money,
smarter
money,
than
money,
us.
No,
is-
it's because people make billions of dollars and they continue to make billions of dollars while the middle class continuously gets fucking reamed in the fucking culo, man. In the culo hard.
So stop being middle class.
I know it's frustrating, man.
Save your money.
I'm gonna start a limousine.
trade your money.
Don't buy a house. Don't buy a truck.
No,
It's a beautiful
I
truck.
disagree. Buying houses is a safe bet right now, especially with how hot the market is.
I'm
Truly
you're just talking about middle class and all this, and I'm like, I mean, if you don't want to be, stop making payments. You don't want to be stuck in the middle class. Stop making payments.
No, it's not about that. I want to help the middle class, and I think that everyone should be equal in the essence of the system that we're currently in is completely wrong, and something has to change. And I think that we are all so complacent that nothing has changed. And with the mentality that these podcasts are going with, and I think that we have some good ideas on what we could do better. But with the mentality that we've currently had for such a long time, nothing's ever going to change until people absolutely start doing something about it, as opposed to talking and having conversations. And I know people go out and they have, not riots, but they have protests and stuff like that. But it's not to the scale that needs to happen for things to change.
You're right. I would, man, if like you said, if every single person in Missouri stopped paying personal property tax, what the fuck are they going to do? What the fuck are they actually going to be able to do if every single person in Missouri stopped paying personal property tax? But here's the thing is, Paul, you talk about how we just talk about these things instead of actually doing them. I'm all for it, but what is the step? How do you, I don't even know. I can't even fathom an idea that would even remotely work to get everybody to stop paying personal property tax.
Do you think that's the same mindset that the person had when they first established personal property taxes? How do we get every single person in the state of Missouri to give us money when they own it? That sounds ludicrous. That sounds absolutely insane. How will we ever do that? They fucking did it. They're doing it now. They've been doing it for over 100 years.
You still haven't given me a solution, though, or any kind of...
I'm just saying that's what they thought. So we need to think of something. We need to think of how they did it, but in reverse opposite, and make it fucking happen.
I mean, good luck. That's all I'm saying is good luck.
I know.
I'd be curious to poll people. Like, if you were to poll a good sample size of individuals and then say, here's it broken down how much you're taxed on everything that you're taxed on. This is the amount that you pay in taxes every year or the previous year. Do you feel as though all of your tax money that you're physically seeing a good representation of the amount that you're paying? Because if being taxed that amount is all of a sudden you see it and how it's interworking with the community and holy shit, this is working. That's one thing. It doesn't matter. Tax us at 60% if everything's working and we're okay with it. I think the problem is that we're seeing a failed product. Everybody's being taxed on all these different avenues, but we don't like the outcome of it. Because think about it, like, you would be okay with being taxed the amount that's being taxed right now if all of a sudden the roads were fucking great, right?
Okay, hold on.
And then all of a sudden the schools, like we have great fucking teachers.
So 10%. I'm just going to say this real fast, then you continue. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. But at 10% sales tax in Belton, and not only that, but the amount of personal property tax that goes to the city of Belton, and our schools are ranked 3 out of 10 when it comes to high schools. So yeah, continue. I'm sorry. Yes, education as well.
So this is what I'm saying. It's not so much about the percentage. It's the fact that we're paying this amount, but we're not getting a good enough value from it because we feel as though things could be spread out differently. I think is what it really comes down to. Is the money isn't being...
You always want value for anything you purchase. You want it to be of good, the best, or you want to feel that it's fair. Why would you buy a $6,000 TV that is worse than your friend's $1,000 TV? That's not good value. That's not a good that's not a fair equivalent trade. So right now what you're saying is we don't feel that we're getting back the equivalency of what we're paying for, basically.
It shouldn't even be amount that you're being taxed. Like, tax us at 90%, but let's say all of a sudden everybody fucking, which this is very socialist, don't get me wrong, which I'm not on board with. But if you tax us at 90%, but you never have to pay a hospital bill, the government literally gives everybody a Corvette for fucking free, or it's not free because it comes from the fucking taxes. Everybody gets 100 acres. Everybody gets 100 acres in a fucking mansion you get to fucking design yourself. And then you don't have to never pay another bill in your life. You're like, fuck yeah, you tax me at fucking 90%. You give me 100 acres, fucking free house, goddamn Corvette, free education, free fucking health. But that's not what we're dealing with. We're dealing with, you're taking a shit ton of money from us. We're paying for fucking everything, and we're not really seeing too much
anything in return.
Minuscule.
To any, like, I mean, it's literally...
And I'm sure there is stuff in return that we don't notice.
It's like they're keeping it just enough for us to fucking not fucking go and protest.
What have you seen in the city that we live in that would make you believe that they're doing something right?
I mean, we have police, taxes? We have fucking firefighters. You know, like if my house goes up in smoke right now, like there are firefighters that will show up and do that.
Your city's expanding.
That's bare necessities, bro. That doesn't require $54 million of income.
We don't know. I don't know how much it costs.
For them to come out and do a fire that takes $54 million.
I'm not saying it takes $54 million. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in the city. We've had this conversation.
Right. I'm just saying, what have you seen in the city that makes you believe that they're heading in the right direction? It's just frustrating. They're taking money, whatever. I've said it many times. Poop in my butt, man. Poop in my butt.
I agree. We should be seeing more for what we're giving them. Yeah, absolutely.
And I think this goes back to a point you guys made earlier when Johnny went to that car dealership and they were going to make his payments more than what he had agreed to because they threw in that warranty without him even knowing about it. It's the city throwing in more shit that we don't know about because they think we're all so complacent we're not going to say shit about it. And you know what? No one's saying shit about it anywhere in the United States. And if one person raises their voice about it, it's a very small voice and it doesn't get heard and it's not enough. So we need more people to have more voices so we have enough voices so we can start making a fucking impact on what is happening in the United States is what it comes down to. Because no one fucking cares what's going on. We all care about ourselves, our immediate family, and when you have kids, yes, it does change your life and you do care for that kid, but at the end of the day, you're still about yourself.
We're about ourselves in a general sense. We're about ourselves in the wrong way. We care about ourselves in the moment, not so much in the long term. Because if everybody really cared about themselves so much, they would be investing so much in the time of discovering of, you know, what your skills, what your talents are, how you can improve as a fucking person. You'd be reading books, like you'd be nourishing yourself with all kinds of information and all this. We care about ourselves in a very unhealthy way. There is nothing unhealthy with caring about yourself and loving yourself. Everybody should absolutely care about themselves and love themselves, but in the right way. We do it in a wrong way to where it's, I get my... I don't want to go down this fucking tangent, I don't want to go down this tangent.
In the city we live in...
I liked where you're going.
Sorry, and I kind of missed some of that because I was looking at this budget stuff.
That's fine.
In the city we live in, last year, the police got $1,047,000, or $1,047,945. The fire department got $857,000.
So there's still $52
Is that on
million
the Belton
out there.
website?
What? This is off the Belton, like their budget thing,
So $52 million.
which they make
out
this
there.
as hard to read as fucking possible.
Oh, well,
by the
yeah,
way.
they're not going to make it easy.
So there's still $52 million out there.
Yeah, no, I'm going through the rest of it.
Isn't that crazy?
I'm looking. I'm
Yeah.
trying.
I liked where you were going though.
Wait,
You're
how
right.
how much was the budget for the police?
So, by the
million.
way, the police.
Police officers-
Public safety staff will be getting a 2.5% cost of living adjustment for all employees.
Ooh.
Public safety staff, meaning police, firefighters, so on and so forth, will get a 2.5% cost of living adjustment in
So does that mean they get a discount?
2020, so
Discount
next
on
year.
a house or something?
Yeah,
Nice.
they get a tax break basically,
Cool, man.
which as they should. These are the forefront of our society in protecting us. I think they need benefits like that.
they're getting fucked too though. They're getting fucked too. Their cost on health insurance premiums is going up 3.3%.
Oh shit! So they're still getting over on you. So basically,
So they're
those
going to give
even
you the 2.5
Well,
and
well,
increase
all-
their shit by
with-
3.5?
okay,
3.3,
but
yeah.
you're-
3.3, so...
It all depends on what the percentages are going into. Because if it's a lower percentage on the 3%, whatever, and it's a much higher percent that they're getting deducted from, it could still be to their benefit.
Well,
It's different percentages. You
Yeah.
need to understand
Yeah.
what the
Well,
percentages.
2.5% on a
coming from.
$120,000 house is a lot of money.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and then what was the other percentage on?
3.5%.
3.3
On what?
3.3 on health.
On health
on health care.
Yeah.
Which is much lower than what.
Yeah.
So those.
What I'm saying is that's $2 million.
You
and
have
there's
to do
still
the math on it.
There's still 52 other $1 million out there. You
I mean,
know?
I'm looking
I'm
at
sure
a lot
that
of it
list
right
is
here.
very extensive. You can
It
dig
is. It's-
through
it's
it.
crazy what they're going
that'd
through,
have to
like-
be like you get to sit down, read it,
And
go
they put it
through
in such a weird order. You can't see like an overall general. Like, there's nothing in this budget that is like this.
You
goes
think
to
they
fire,
want you to
this
see
goes
the budget in
Oh, it's not
in
black
just
and white. Why would
in
it be?
like crayons because they could literally
That'd be great.
Literally, because you can generalize categories, right?
Mhm.
So think about this. What about doing a budget to where you separate it to, you could say schooling or education.
They're giving $249,000 to the golf course.
Nice, man. Because we need that golf course because we have fucking pro
well, that
golfers.
brings in people from outside of the
Brings
community
in no
to
one,
come in.
no one into Belton, dude. Everyone's going out to Johnson County golf.
You'd have to do the math on it, and honestly, you can break all these are numbers.
We have one
you
golf
can
course
literally
now.
break
We have-
all this down.
We
to,
have one golf course now. And that's
live-
in Markey Park.
I live right by that.
Yeah.
Eagles
I live
Park.
right by that shit.
Why does it deserve 200K?
Why? Okay, here. This is another.
You'd have to break
hold
down
up,
the math.
real quick. This is which, by the way,
You-
this
you
is
could
way
be
off.
right.
This is
You-
way
you
off
could
of
be
your.
right.
Build the park up with that 200K. Make it way more sexy and beautiful. That brings in more people than fucking golfers. Guarantee you.
Okay, check this out. This is the overall kind of budget thing here. I think this is hilarious. We talked about fucking basic math last week, right? Like, I don't want to bore everybody with this again, but really quick, we talked about basic math. Spend less than what you make. Okay. Their proposed current year revenues for 2019-2020 fiscal year from April to April, that just started this last April, their proposed revenue is $57 million. And some other numbers behind that, but $57 million. Their proposed expenditures, what they plan on spending, is $63 million. That's
No.
literally basic math right there. Your expenditures should be lower.
Then what you're
You should
getting.
plan on spending less than what you're fucking making.
Yeah.
The city is going into debt itself if it follows its own fucking budget. That's a joke.
Dude.
Now you're
That's
talking
a
about Belton though. How's the trash service fit into that? Because if you're being Belton specific, trash is a big issue in Belton right now.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Raymore,
Yeah.
they're starting their own trash. They're proposing a recycling facility.
All right, so the general. I don't want to.
So-
Man, this sounds. I don't want to go through all this because I'm
No,
sure it's
we don't.
super
you'd have to
boring.
sit down and dig
But
through
we can
that
talk
and
about this
make
later
it-
because it's hilarious looking at stuff like what the parks get. The parks are getting $3 million is going to be spent on parks.
No.
Belton Market.
Not a
I think-
chance.
okay.
Not a chance they're spending $3 million on parks.
I just want to. I want. Okay.
No chance. No way.
Every
$3 million parks, sign me up.
Well, they just
Dude, the
they
mayor's
just
Christmas
redid-
tree is $14,000.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Well,
like at the place
the
where
Christmas tree last year.
The
was
mayor's Christmas tree is
people-
at his
$14,000.
house.
People were
at his
pissed.
house.
No, it was
No.
the Belton annual Christmas tree lighting. $14,000. People were pissed and up in arms about it.
now, Paul, how do you fit in taxes or Jesse or anybody? The
They
taxes
spend
say-
4.4 million. So $4.5 million on the streets
It's not enough,
a drop in the bucket.
dude. They're not tearing up
out of the
streets,
out of the
that's for sure.
63 million they plan on. 4 million of it goes to
Yeah.
to the streets. I know this is I'm sure this is boring as fuck. I found it super interesting knowing where my fucking tax money goes.
Same. I'm
It's
right there with
important
you.
to look-
Everybody else
It's
watching
important
this
to
is
look
like,
at.
I don't give a shit about your fucking town.
They're like Belton, Texas, and Missouri because there's two.
Yeah. There might
But
be.
no, they need the taxes. Well, we got a Menards now. We're getting a Raising Cane's chicken. Belton's expanding. How do you explain the taxes going towards that? More, it's going to bring in more people. They're going to spend their money and then grow the city even further. Granted, they might tax you more when Belton starts getting bigger. Population's going to get higher. They're going to build more houses, more apartments. It's going to get bigger. So how do you see their taxes fitting in with that?
But what's weird with taxes in cities and shit like that, which I'm sure somebody could clarify for me. But how can you spend more than what the taxpayers are paying for?
Yeah.
You would have to-
These are
Wait,
projections. These are projections.
Wait, you would have to take loans out,
Well,
right?
That's our city planner who makes over $100K a year. So
Wait, so-
let's
that's
go
a
ask her.
projection, though. It's not an actual. That's just what they think they're going to spend.
Which means they're
They
going
don't
to
know
spend
what
more.
they're going to.
Bro,
But
they
the
spend
tax cuts they're gonna get-
we spend 4.4 million on the roads. They spend 1.1 million on the golf course.
Are you fucking kidding me?
1.1 million on the
quarter of
golf
that.
course, but only 4 million on the roads.
Are you?
You know how many people use the roads? Fucking everybody. You know how many people go golfing?
Not
Whoa,
everybody.
whoa, is that fucking real?
Yeah, that's real life, bro.
Wow.
That's real life. This is
On
their,
the shitty ass golf course?
You're making Paula angry.
You got to be fucking kidding me! No, everybody in this room
They
should
should
be
be,
fucking
yeah.
angry right now. Say those numbers again
4.4 million
on the road.
on the streets. 4.4 million on the streets. 1.1 million on the golf course.
Literally a quarter.
I'm
A
put-
literal quarter.
I'm gonna
You got to be fucking kidding me right now. You've got to be
Have you-
fucking.
And have you been to that golf course? Is it a $1 million golf course?
No.
Sorry, 1 million a year.
Yeah. For upkeep.
Yeah.
That's not a one-time.
1 million a year.
What are they doing to that golf course to make it worth $1 million that they spend on each year? That's insane, man.
You got to be fucking kidding me.
People are making money. They're pocketing the money is what's happening. People in Belton are making a lot of money for that, but they probably shouldn't. Because I can guarantee you at Richard Skibauer, Markey Park, wherever that golf course is, they're not spending $1 million on it. On what? Water?
Why
On
are people's
water?
first of all, why are people's tax paying fucking dollars going toward a privately owned fucking golf course? Is it privately owned? Or does the city
I
own
don't
it?
know anything about our golf
No,
course.
it wouldn't
So-
be. If
so
it was
it-
privately owned, the city wouldn't give money to them like that.
So it's a city owned golf course.
I guess so.
And you need 1 point. That
Dude.
doesn't make any fucking
You
sense.
know what? We're at the top of the hour, and anyone and everyone who watches this podcast, which is going to, anyone who and everyone is going to watch this podcast, go out and see where your city is and see what they're spending because you have the access, you have the power in your pocket to download the budget that they're going to come out with. You know, next year, look at what they spent their money on last year and question what your government did and fucking go talk to them and see what's going on, man. Because obviously we haven't done it, and this is the first time, and we're all flabbergasted.
That's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Jesus.
4 million on roads and $1 million on a golf course. How many of you guys use the golf course? I guarantee you every one of you motherfuckers drove today.
Yeah.
Over potholes.
That should be self-paying for it. Okay, you spend an initial amount of money to build a golf course, right?
Which
And
has
then-
been
but
there
people-
for 40 years, 50
But people
years.
pay money to go and golf
Wait,
there, right? I'm
no.
assuming?
Can I go golf there for free?
Yeah, because I live right by it. I have to go. No, we'd have to go pay money.
Yeah, that's a
Hey,
joke.
Johnny.
You got to be fucking kidding
So on
me.
the,
That makes
you
no
got me
fucking
curious
sense.
now on the Belton website. I just pulled it up too. This gives you a breakdown of your Belton total sales tax 9.475%.
Okay.
1% of that goes to the city.
What's the other percentage?
0.5 goes to the park. 0.25 goes to fire. 0.50 capital improvements. 0.5 city transportation. 2% to the county.
What city transportation do we have?
Exactly.
Do we have a bus?
Whoa.
Exactly.
Whoa.
Here's the part.
Have
I
any
found
of you ever seen a fucking public bus in this city?
No, but here's the interesting part I just noticed from reading it, and I didn't even think, nobody thought of it. 4.225% goes to the state. So what you're paying does not even go to your city. What goes to your city
Well,
is
yeah.
hardly anything.
I mean,
Well,
I kind of assume
but
that.
we
I know,
already
but
paid
you're
a state
saying,
tax, though.
Where's all
Yeah.
your money going? It's going to the fucking state.
Yeah.
But we,
You
we
know?
already pay a state tax.
But and Johnny's
Exactly.
I mean, and with the taxes that Johnny's talking about, $1 million of that dollars is going to the golf course. Baby.
$1 million's going to the golf course.
That's so stupid.
Dude, 0.5% of our sales tax. Paul, you better do real well. I'm paying for that. I'm paying for that. Dude, 0.5. Man, this is. Man, I know so many of y'all motherfuckers don't give a shit. 0.5% of my sales tax goes to public transportation. I have never seen a
There's
fucking
no
bus.
public
There's
fucking
nothing
transportation
here,
here
bro. They don't
now.
even
Hey,
loan.
hey, hey.
They don't loan me a bike.
Hey, we're gonna leave it at that, man. This shit's about to get heated. So, thanks for listening. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell notification. If you like this video,
God, I wish
please
we
share
kept
it.
going so I could get fucking heated on here.
Yeah.
Fortunately,
Give me a public bus.
I have a
Give me. I pay for it.
Where my monorail?
So yes, hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell notification to all our junkies out there.
Stay fly and ring the bell.
You my butt.